I am live. I'm trying to straighten out my shirt here so I look pretty. All right. If you're wandering the internet and you run across this video, know that it's a live broadcast and that I just got it started. I'm going to go post the information on our website. Our website is called jollyrogerukulele.com, and it has every single thing every single ukulele player would ever possibly need to know to become a great instrumental player. And you should get to know it. So much of it is free. It is filled with hilarity and wise musical thinking. And I am hoping like heck that you come visit and check it out. Join us for these every weekday broadcasts, and you will get super brilliant, and you'll get to play more ukulele, and you'll play it at a higher level. And I got that other thing posted, so let's see if it's working now. This is the awkward part of the daily broadcast where I have to decide how to fill up time and make you fascinated, uh, waiting for me to actually start. You probably fast forward about 3 minutes, and then we will be starting. Yep, there I am. Okay, so we got this up. Now the main thing I do is I wait for somebody to log in and see if they can hear me. Um, we have had pretty good luck with the sound system over the last few weeks, but just about the time I get a big head that it's going great, then the whole thing falls apart again. So we got a few people logging in. They're going to tell me, "Yep, Gary, I can hear you just fine," and then I'm going to go right on. And today is Mozart week, and so we're working on Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Leslie's here, and the sound is great. So Leslie is the first one to. Leslie gets the prize for today for being the first one to tell me the sound is good. Lynn, welcome in. Let's see. Somebody told me they lost their password. I gotta check and see if I got back to them. Who was that? How are you guys today? Hope everything's going lovely. It's going to be 90 degrees here in Colorado again, and under the best of circumstances, I'm kind of grumpy about the weather, and when it's way more than it's supposed to be, my sadness increases. Let's see, who was it that said they needed it? Oh, Fran needs it. Hopefully I can see her when she comes in. Let's see, Leslie, Lynn, Lanny is here, sounding good. Lanny, we're going to do Blue Hawaii next week. You got a head start on it, all of us. Sandy is our Youper girl. Sandy, tell me the story on Youper. I don't think I know what that means. Youper. Does that mean Yupper, the Yupper part of Michigan? What does Youper mean? Hey, Elizabeth, welcome in. Elizabeth, I finished ish at Steak and Hotel California. I'm gonna go out to California and just punch Glenn Fry in the face. It's a lot more work than it needed to be. Hey, Manette, I sound and look good. Manette, you're very kind. I sound like Kermit the Frog, and I look like somebody that has nothing important to say. So thank you. You're very kind. Terry coming in loud and clear and beautiful. I know Terry. I think I could probably hit Terry with a rock if I threw it here. He lives right down here somewhere. Okay, and from blustery Longmont, oh, it's windy out there. Yeah, we got afternoon thunder showers getting building up here, so you're probably going to get some some excitement going on out there. Valerie, warm and humid in Chicago. Chicago comes in two versions, right? It's either so cold and windy or hot and windy. I think probably, right? I don't know. I have never been to Chicago in the summer. I'm just assuming it's just as horrible as it was when I was there in the winter. Beautiful town, really, really nice place. Just kind of upside down weather-wise. Hey, Phyllis. Phyllis is from Canada. Everything's perfect in Canada. Christine, thank you. I'm looking and sounding good. You guys are funny. Renee is here from Lakewood. She lives right over there. Let's see. Linda is in beautiful Sonoma Valley, California. Linda number 3. The other 2 Lindas are from Colorado. Maryland Q in from San Jose. We got the whole Bay Area showing up, right? Sonoma, I think, is north of the Bay Area, guys. You'll have to remind me. I'm pretty sure Sonoma is north of the Bay Area, if I remember correctly. Brandon is in. Brandon's a he's a that's Mr. Spock. It's supposed to be this one, right? Hey, Karen, welcome in. Christine, Red, Frere Jacques in E minor. Frere Jacques in E minor. Oh, that's an interesting idea. That's a very interesting idea. Christine's working on her uh, summer institute stuff. I think. I bet. And excuse me. Allergies. Not what you think. It's everything's cool. Don't worry. and Frere Jacques in E minor. That's a fascinating idea. I hadn't thought of that. I'm going to add that into my version too. Please don't. I know we've had enough rocks thrown in Denver. We're not going to throw any rocks. It'll be a Nerf rock. Oh yeah, exactly right. The weather is. It's a tough area up there. It's amazing that city got to be so huge with such tough weather. Jacqueline's in. Bruce is here. Bruce, I've been saying Bruce is from Arizona since the beginning, and I didn't realize Bruce is actually from a mobile home. He can be anywhere he wants to be, and I had never managed to get that straight in my noggin. Bruce came by the other day. Good to see him. And Cheryl apparently is sitting next to him. And Cheryl, your job is to punch him when he makes a bad sound. I'm a very violent person. I should stop that. Hey, Jana, welcome in from beautiful Waco, Texas. Waco, Texas is super hot probably right now. Pauline back from. Pauline's in the Bay Area too. Pauline, did I know that? I think I might have forgot that. I'm glad you're in. Bay Area is coming up strong. Chris, it's Thursday already. We're in big trouble, right? We got to get going on getting ready for this concert tomorrow. And Kat's here. Gary is in. Gary and Diane. Hey, good to see you, Diane, in from Vancouver, Washington. Bruce. Well, don't make any mistakes, Bruce, and then you'll be fine. All right. Let's see. I want to get us sort of oriented. If you have not already, you need to go to the website and download today's version of Eine Kleine Nachtmusik. I went ahead and cleaned it all up yesterday. I cut out that section that I wasn't having fun with. That's how I do music. If it's not fun, cut it out, right? Get rid of it. My idea of fun is sick enough. I don't need to make it worse. And so you'll need your Eine Kleine Nachtmusik should say June 4th on the upper right-hand side. So you need the June 4th version of that. The June 2nd version is now in the can. So if you guys will make sure you have the correct one. And before that, we're going to talk key of C major. So let's pull up the piece of paper that says just that. I think the file is called ukulele something. Ukulele scales is what I called it, which is the wrong name for it. But you have the idea. It's called Playing the C Scale is what it is. And this is a piece of paper. Oh, wait, I should do this. I keep forgetting to do this, and then someday I might have to actually cut these off. Da-da-da-da, let's start the lesson. My name's Gary. I'm the director of the Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra in beautiful downtown Denver, Colorado. I am broadcasting from the historic Grant Avenue Theater's mezzanine from the World Domination headquarters here in this really kind of funky old church that the church is sort of out of business, and the community center here has always been a musically oriented community center. So there's a ton of music that goes on here, but there's this incredibly beautiful sanctuary on the other side of this wall that basically sits there until I hold a concert in there. Let's see. Oh, Evelyn's back in from Ecuador. We always have to take pause when we have somebody who's international and just be delighted that you guys are taking a gander at this. I know lots of you guys don't have quality ukulele education in your neighborhood, and so hopefully this is helping you get some of that in order. And hopefully, more importantly, you're finding a way and finding some resources and finding some materials that will help you share ukulele with other people. The goal, honestly, guys, the goal is to keep you going in ukulele, but the real goal is to get you to be a composer, a musician, somebody who can grab any kind of an instrument and figure it out and be able to play a little bit.
We use ukulele because it's the best. It's simply the fastest, easiest, most fun, most community-minded way to learn how to play music. Um, and I love this instrument. I think it's just absolutely fabulous. But if you stick around, stick with me, really kind of dive into the deep thinking behind all of this stuff, you should be able to play just any instrument in the world that crosses your mind. I am going to talk about the C scale right now, and on that piece of paper at the very top, there's a piano. If you have prior music experience, you know how important that piano is. If you are new to music, you know what a piano is. And I want to talk just very briefly about the arrangement of the keys on the piano because the same arrangement is sitting right on here. The problem with this is it's not white and black, right? It's all the keys are brown on your ukulele, and it can be kind of confusing as to which notes are where. And that's what this playing the C scale is going to help us start to get our head around. Okay. And it's not unimportant. If you are going to do anything particularly meaningful long term in music, you are going to have to understand how the C scale works. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. You're going to have to understand, more importantly, how the piano notes work together. And so, what I want you to do, looking at that piano, I listed middle C. I want you to pretend there are 44 keys on each side of that. Okay, I just gave you a little section of the piano. That's middle C. If you walked up to piano, it's right in the middle. Okay, it's a C, it's in the middle. And you'll notice that the black keys there's a set of two, and then there's a set of three, and they repeat over and over. Two, then three, two, then three, two, then three. So anytime you see two black keys, the key immediately to the left is a C note. In this case, I'm telling you it's middle C. And the reason that's important is the lowest note on your ukulele is a C. Okay, and that's middle C. It really is the same as the one on the piano. Bong. And so now you know if you go to a piano and and you have to tune off the piano and you have perfect pitch, you hit the C and then you hit this and you make them match, and then you are ready to tune up the rest of this. Nobody does that, by the way. Nobody does that, but you could. Um, Next to the middle C is a black key, and that's going to be your next note here. That's a C sharp. Okay. And next to that black key is a white key, and that's this note here, and that's D. Okay. And we could go all the way up as long as you are including all of the blacks and white keys. It's every single fret: C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. Notice there's no black note between E and F. So while this if you're playing in some super weird minor keys, can be an E sharp, but everybody, only crazy people talk about it like that. This is an F, okay, and there's no E sharp. It's an F, okay, and then and so on all the way up, and you go all the way up and you find out where your notes are, okay, and on this string, this is your E string. You can do the same thing. E, you look on here, all right, I'm on an E, then you go F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and so on. It goes all the way down. Same thing with this one. It starts with A. First note is an A sharp. U note is a B flat. Next is a B, and then a C, a D, C sharp, D, and so on. So all of the notes that are on a piano are also on here, from middle C going up. Those notes are also on here. The problem with the ukulele is it's hard to tell where they are. So you kind of have to spend a little bit of time memorizing it. Now, here's an important thing for you to stick into your head. Do you really have to memorize it? The question comes up most of the time from students who have other instruments in their background. Hey, I played piano for a while, I played trumpet for a while, I played whatever for a while, and I had to learn how to read standard notation. If you are going into academic music, absolutely, you have to know how to read standard notation. Outside of that, standard notation on fretted instruments is sort of optional. If I'm going to go to college in classical guitar, I have to read standard notation. If I am going to play any other type of guitar of any other genre, in any other vein, I don't need to know how to read standard notation. Knowing how to read tablature is going to be super helpful for me. And in many of those genres, I don't even need to know that. Okay, so if you're going into folk music, you just need to, and you're a good singer, you just need to know your chords, and then you don't ever need to even learn how to read tablature. Now, you guys, I shove tablature down your throat because it's going to make your ukulele far more useful than just learning the chords. So, as you're thinking about standard notation, do I really need to know it? No, you do not need to really know it. Should you know it? Yeah, maybe, right? It's not going to make you dumber. It's not going to make you less good at playing the ukulele. And oftentimes it will help you. When I do music arrangements for the ukulele, I do almost the entire thing using standard notation. And then I drop it into the tablature line. And then I start noodling with that because I know I want it to be playable on a ukulele, and it's faster and easier to see how it works on tablature than it is in standard notation. Interestingly, and this is a bit of an aside, but this chord right there, that's your C chord, and this chord, bar, middle, and ring, those look identical on standard notation. So when you're reading standard notation and it says, and it shows you to play this chord, do you play this chord or do you play this chord? They're very different sounding. They're both C chords, but this one has a different feel to it, and then this one has, and yet on standard notation, they look identical. Okay, so that's one of the challenges with standard notation is, yeah, it tells you what chord to play, but it doesn't tell you where on the fretboard to play it because we have lots of repeating notes. All right, so do you have to learn standard notation? No. Should you? Maybe. Okay, beneath it, so when we look at those piano notes, they're actually showing up on here. Next line down, it says 13-2. Okay, that's the notes. That's the actual notes on the scale. Okay, and I start way down with low G. Some of you have low G ukuleles. That's got the low G string on here. If yours sounds like this, you have high G. If you have, and you know if you have a low G one because you bought it and you're like, I need a low G one. It takes all of the ukulele-ness out of it, but it gives you a few more notes so that you have some more options. Those three notes there are yours. You guys have those. You got a G, you got a low G, a low A, and a low B right there. I should use my pinky. Okay, those are your notes that we don't have. You get 4 extra notes with a low G ukulele. Now, the rest of us start with the C. Okay, so I want you to go to, this is where you find the C scale on your ukulele, that little section there in there. You've got your notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and that's how they lay out in standard notation. That's what those dots are for. And right under that, you have your tablature. So I want to work on tablature with you guys just for a second so that you will know how to play a C scale. Okay, so starting on low C, 0 on the 3rd string. Next thing, middle finger on 2 of the 3rd string. Next note is open on the 2nd string. That's your E string. Next note is a 1 on your 2nd string. Next note is a 3 on your 3rd string, 2nd string. Next note is an open on your 1st string. Next note is a 2 or middle finger on your 1st string, and then a 3 or your ring finger on your 1st string. Okay, so that's a C scale. What that does is take all of the white notes and puts them in order. If we started on a different note other than C, we would have to include some of the black notes to make it sound right. But when you start on C, you can go all the way up to the next C and use only white keys on the piano. And that's exactly what we're playing right there is just white keys on your brown fretboard. Okay. Manette has a question. Do you have a recommendation for how to start learning standard notation? You're in it at this moment, Manette. This is how we learn standard notation. Yeah, that's exactly how we do it. And by the time we get to the bottom, I'll tell you how I would approach it and why you probably don't need to. Okay, so you are in it at this moment, Manette. All right, so we're going to take that C scale and we're going to play it a little faster. Okay, so it's O2 on the 3rd string. Then it's O1-3 on the 2nd string, and then it's O2-3 on the 3rd string. First string. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can do it. I'm gonna go crazy slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. O2, O 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. Let's do it again from the open C string. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. But for those of you who know Sound of Music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's what we're doing. The solfege. Okay, for those of you with singing background. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time, kind of fast. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. As you're looking for connectedness of notes, notice you don't have to, if you play this F, that note, you don't have to lift it up in order to put the next one down. Just leave that down and your notes will sound more connected. Let's try that. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. When I get to that last 3, my 2 is still hanging out, doing its job. It's just been covered up by this new note that's covering. It helps your notes stay connected together. All right, that's the up part. Now let's do the down part. Okay, so you start at the top. You're going to do a 3 on the first string, then a 2, then an open. So basically, we're reading this tablature backward. Then you're going to do this 3, and then a 1, then an open, then a 2, and then an open. Okay, let's try it again, nice and slow. Let's look at the right side of that little scale, and you're going to go read backward to the left. Start on the high 3, go. 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0. Okay, one more time, a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0. Okay. Are you thinking of the numbers or of the letters of the sound? I always think of the numbers of the sound. Always, always, always. Even when I am working in standard notation, I'm almost always thinking of the number of the sound because I've been doing this a long time. If you're a piano player, you're thinking of the name of the sound, okay? But their name and our number are identical, right? They're the same thing. There are probably no ukulele players that are particularly 100% really dedicated to playing from standard notation. It's just simply not something that there might be a handful on the planet that actually do that, but honestly, it's just not done. It's just not necessary. It's too, it's just not necessary. We have better ways of getting the job done. Okay, so but it is important for some people to know the theory behind it, and there are reasons why we have standard notation on all of your music, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now, okay, last activity. We're going to go from the bottom to the top, and then I turn around and go right back down. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0. Now, when we get to that high 3, this note, don't hit it twice. Just immediately turn around and come back down. I took 10 years of piano lessons and we would do scales. Not often. I was an adult learner, so she didn't force them down me. But when we did scales, she'd say, get to that top one. Don't hit that top note twice. We immediately turn around and go right back down. And I don't know why that's a rule, but it is a rule. And so we follow that rule. Okay, so only hit that note once. Here we go. From the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, 0. Okay, for Brandon's sake, let's do the letters just for fun. Okay, from the bottom up to the top and back down. 1, 2, ready, play. C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, D, A, G, F, E, D, C. There's your C scale, both from the bottom to the top and back. I want to amend what I just said. Do you ever think of the notes when you're playing? I don't. If I was a elementary school teacher, I would absolutely 100% be using that. Okay, because one, and then I don't got to teach them the recorder, right? Into the trash can, those go. My life instantly improves dramatically. And then as an elementary school classroom teacher, I do have to teach them what standard notation is. And so I would be teaching them, this is a C note, this is a D note, but I'd also teach them, you hold down a 2 to make a D note. Okay, so those two lines are the same exact thing. They're just different visual representations of the same exact thing. And in elementary school, we got a couple of jobs, right? We got to get them to work together. We got to get them to have a command of an instrument. We got to get them to learn how to read sheet music. We got to do all of these little things. We want them to work in an ensemble. We want them to work as soloists. And so there's all these little things that we need young musicians to do. One of the things we need young musicians to do is to be able to regurgitate what the standard notation means. And so we teach them every good boy does fine, and FACE. Some of you will remember that from elementary school. We have to teach them that. And so we show them on the standard notation line. Here are those notes, and then we show them how to play that on the ukulele. And if we don't give them the tablature, we're doing them a massive disservice, because they're never really going to be playing from standard notation ever. Our very advanced players in the ukulele orchestra, they use a lot of standard notation, but they also always use a ton of tablature as well. So they're using both systems simultaneously. The vast majority of ukulele players, most of them don't even know how to read tablature. That's how far we've gotten on ukulele education. You guys are different. You guys are using tablature, and it is absolutely, in many respects, much better than standard notation, because this exact problem, that and that are the same thing in standard notation. Well, that's a problem, because I don't know which one I'm supposed to do without them writing it in on the sheet music. So you've got your C scale down. You've seen it on what it looks like in standard notation, and you've seen what it looks like in tablature. Both of those are the same systems. One of those takes me 5 seconds to show you how to do it. The other one takes me about a year to teach you how to read standard notation properly. Okay, so next. Oh, Karen has a question. If you're reading some music and you want to play it on your uke, do you usually use just the first few frets on each string, unless fingering can't work? I mean, versus playing on 6 or 10. So Karen's question is, when I go grab a piece of sheet music and I drop it down in front of me and I'm getting ready to play it, do I usually play it mostly down here, or do I usually play it somewhere else up here? The answer is our string is only this long, right? I got to get all of the music I'm going to make out of this much string. So the farther I go up here, the less and less pleasant my sound gets. So when I am attacking a piece of music, I want to play it as far down here as possible. There is a pretty notable exception, and we have it in some of your Mozart music today. There are times if the melody gets going pretty high up here, and you guys remember your 9-10-9 little moment in that, I can play this as 10-5, 10-5, 10, or that seems really awkward. So if I need this 5, it's sitting right up here, right? Sitting there on the 10. So now I can go. So I will, if the fingering is particularly awkward with going up and down the fretboard, then I will move notes from a higher string to a lower string and then slide them way up here, just to make the fingering easier. But for the most part, my first thought is always, how low down on this can I go? What's my lowest note on this piece of music? If it goes below C, then I got to transpose it. But if C is my lowest note, I want that C to be this C, and certainly not this C, because then I'm going to be playing way up here, and it just doesn't sound good. And it's usually harder to play up here than it is down here. So that's how that's going to work. Generally speaking, is when you grab a piece of music, you got to scan through the standard music. If there's any notes below C, middle C, you either have to go buy a low G ukulele, or you have to transpose that up. Okay, and lots of music, the melody line drops below middle C because it fits singers' voices better. So that happens pretty often. That's why you stick with my music because I already solved that problem. Okay, several things on else on this paper that are worth talking about. Which fingers do you use? You're going to use your index finger in one. You're going to use your middle finger in two. You're going to use your ring finger in three. You're going to use your ring finger or pinky finger on four. So that's first position, and we call it first position because it's on the first fret. Second position, third position, fourth position, and so on. Fifth position. Okay. And I was talking to, what was I going to say? Something fascinating. And in and out of my brain it went. So those are your things. As melody starts to move up the fretboard, you have to start making smarter decisions. Would this part of the music be easier to play in fourth position or fifth position? Seventh position sometimes I use. Okay. But for the most part, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And especially on this C scale that you're playing. Let's see. Finally, to Manette's question, what's an effective way to learn the names of these notes on the ukulele so that I could play? So I don't need standard, I don't need tablature. I'll just read standard notation. The most effective way is to know that you are wasting your time doing this. But if you absolutely insist, like I have to know the name of this note or I will lose my mind. If that's you, guys, I get it. You probably have piano in your background, probably. If I have to know what the name of this note is, then I have to start memorizing the fretboard, and that's what you have down here at the bottom of the paper is a fretboard where all of the whole notes, the white notes, are listed. So G is this one, and A is this one, and B is this one, and C is this one. Okay, and so I just have to memorize those. There's only, you can see on here, there's not that many notes. You can actually just sit down one evening and memorize the darn things. Are you going to use that memorization for anything? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm not against you being smarter. Those would be memorized. What I would do is I would memorize all of the whole notes. Keep calling them whole notes, the white notes, up through at least 5. I will tell you, I have been playing almost 20 years now, and I have this string memorized, and I have the first 5 frets of this one memorized, and I don't care about these other 2 strings because they're not going to play a major role in my orchestrations. What I do care about is knowing my basic bar chord shapes. I have all of those dead on square memorized, no question about it, because those shapes are going to play a lot bigger role in me playing the correct notes than me knowing the names of all of these. Okay, so if you had prior music experience and you had to memorize your notes and you had to memorize all that stuff, please know I get it. It feels like a goal you should have on this ukulele as well, but it is not necessary. I will be honest with you. I play classical guitar. I don't read classical standard notation. I get tablature because it's faster and easier and more accurate. And I'm not playing that song unless I know what the song is anyway. So I already know how it goes. I just use tablature, and it's just much faster, much easier. And we have software these days, guys. Back in 1873, they didn't have software, so you had to just whatever piece of sheet was in front of you, that's what you had. But these days with software, you go plop, and you can take the tablature and go plop, and you have your standard notation, or you take your standard notation and you go plop, and then you have the tablature. So, and all of the songs that are worth doing, you can find tablature for, probably. Well, that's not true. That's an exaggeration. All the songs worth doing you get from me, and they're all awesome, and they have tablature. So that's a brief overview of standard notation on the ukulele, and more importantly, how to play a C scale. If playing that C scale was challenging for you, you should probably warm up with that for the next couple weeks. Just play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, and then go all the way back down. I can't do the alphabet backwards without looking at it. So it's something that just will help get your fingers a little more fluid and sort of get you where you know where some of the white notes are on your piano, on your ukulele. So I think this little piece of paper is somewhat helpful. And for those of you who just absolutely have to have names on for notes, this system will work for you. Just know that there's none of us. There's actually only two of us that are writing decent ukulele sheet music. There's two of us on this earth that I'm aware of, and neither of us use standard notation to any great extent. We are really focused in on putting in some beautiful, beautiful tablature arrangements, and then occasionally I'll take a full blown tough uke arrangement, drag it up onto the standard notation line so I look smart. But that's not at all one of the goals that I have as a musician or for my students. It's just not necessary. So, all right, big long discussion about how to play a C scale. I don't want to spend any more time on it because I do want to dig into tomorrow's concert, and we want to spend a little bit of time on that. Let's see. Kathy wandered in. Phyllis, some confusion. Then tablature are the no notes we just tablature is the same as standard notation. Those two are the same. It's just that one uses dots and is a relatively complicated way of demonstrating how to play the music. And tablature is the numbers down below, and that tells you is what string to hold down and where to put your finger. Okay, and it's not without noting guitarists have turned tablature into this incredibly complicated, difficult to read thing too. They have a whole set of extra stuff they add on there. I don't add any of that on there because frankly it's silly. But you can make tablature every bit as complicated as standard notation, and so it's there. If you want to be, looking for something that's complicated and worth studying, both of these systems are worth studying. Each of them has strengths and weaknesses, and that's why the sheet music you get from me has both. You always get both. Those of you who really want to play the standard notation, you can. There are times when I play from standard notation, but it's very rare. Most of the time I'm playing from the tablature because it's just faster and easier. Okay. All right, that's it for the C scale. Lots more questions. On Monday night, and by the way, brief advertisement, Monday night we have Summer Institute. This will probably come up as well. So it'll be another chance for me just to talk about how to play a C scale, how to make your ukulele mean something. I'm not positive we're going to cover any of that on Monday night yet, but it's very likely to come up. It comes up on it from time to time. Hey, Critter, in from Utah, welcome. All right, phew. There we go. That's it. Playing the C scale gives you a brief overview of playing using that other line up there. I put that other line up there because I want those people who are singers to be able to follow that standard notation. For singers, that actually is super, super helpful. And of course, if you're handing this music over to somebody else who's playing a different kind of instrument, a pianist, a singer, a tuba player, not a tuba player, that would be a bad example, trumpet player, they want to see those dots because that's what you use on those instruments. On this instrument, we use tablature, and it's what we use. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Hopefully, last mention, you've got the one that says is dated June 4th. We went through and cleaned up the one that we had been using previously in the week. I try not to double post sheet music, but it does happen sometimes, guys. I really hate it when I have to repost sheet music, but it does happen sometimes. We just find enough mistakes where it's just easier and better and whatever to clean it up. So yours should say June 4th on the top right of your Eine kleine Nachtmusik. And if it doesn't, go to the website, grab the new version, and throw away your old version. All right, so let's talk about, yesterday we covered page 1 pretty substantially, and we covered it the day before as well. So I don't want to spend any time really on page 1. And page 2, we spent a little bit of time on yesterday and the day before as well. So I feel like page 2 and into page 3, we've spent a little bit more time on it. I do want to talk about 41 to the end first today. I want to make sure we've had a chance to cover that pretty well. So I need you to go to measure 41. Okay, and we get our ukulele in playing position. For those of you who are newer, you are thinking, I'm going to just hit the chords when it's my turn. So, oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. Or maybe I'm double strumming it. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. 3, 4. That is what I truly want to be. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll run through that. That's for those of you guys that are newer. You've gotten just your chords in. You went and wandered YouTube until you found somebody teaching chords, and you thought that's what I need to know. You don't need to. You do need to know it, but you don't need to know it. It's not as important as they make you think. So you got your C chords, your F chords, your G chords. I think that's it, right? The end of this wraps up real sweet for those of you guys that are just got your chords. Now, what I always do is I tell people this: if you know how to do that, stop doing that. Okay, stop it. Stop doing what you know. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? We want to work on stuff you don't know in music. Okay, you want to fail a lot. Hey, that should be a life lesson number 2. I've been trying to think of life lesson number 2 to put on this week's thing. Life lesson number 2: you want to fail a lot, right? You want to be messing this stuff up so that you get better at it. If you are next level player, you are thinking, I want to learn how to read tablature, and this is going to be. There it is. So we're going to go one note at a time. And then, of course, you guys that have been around a while, you're getting in, you're starting to figure all this out. It's starting to make a lot of sense. We're going to play the tough uke, okay, which is the bottom line there. So let's go to measure 40. I'm going to sing. Cover your ears. Let's get your F chord on to start. The first 2 notes are O, I, and so that's called a pickup note in music. And a lot of times I say, let's go to the pickup to measure 42. And people are like, what? So we're going to go to the pickup to 42, which is O, I. Those are your first 2 notes, okay? But you're holding your F chord. And then when we talk chords, we are always thinking about, am I going to do my plucking like this? Am I going to do my arpeggiating 1 and 2 and 3 and 4? And am I going to do strumming 1, 2, 3, 4? Am I going to do? Am I going to get hardcore here and do my index strumming down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up? Okay. You have a lot of, not a lot, but you have a number of choices with this right hand to make yourself sound cool, better, interesting. And so be mindful. If you are really good at thumb, stop it. Start doing this one. If you get really good at that, stop it. Do this one. If you get really good at that, stop it. Do this one. There's nothing beyond that one, by the way. Okay. All right. So from the top, not from the top, from the pickup to number 42, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly want to be. 3, 4, 'cause if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, that is what I never want to be. 'Cause if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, there would soon be nothing left of me. All right. I blew that in a major way because I started to think, oh, I didn't put my page turner down on the floor, and I'm going to be awkward. All right. So there you go. I'm back in business. Okay, let's do it. So that's how we're doing, right? Up and down or plucking or whatever. Let's try plucking. Just see what happens. See how it sounds. Pick up to 42. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me. 2, 3. Oh, I'd hate to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. Bing, bong. That is what I'd never want to be. 2, 3. 'Cause if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, there would soon be nothing left of me. Let's keep going. My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day, and if you ask me why, I'll say. You see the fermata there? That's that up. That's that eyeball-looking thing. It's telling you to hold that note, and then I'm going to give you a head bob, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOG and A. Okay. Mozart. Okay, absolutely. If he was around in 1973, that's exactly the song he would have written. Now, that's how we handle the chords. And if that's all you got right now, if that's what you know, do those. Okay. Now let's go through and let's play the tablature. Okay. And again, from earlier in our lesson today, you see 0, 1 is your pickup, and you see right above that OI, and you're right above that a C note and an F note. So those are identical. Okay. Much easier to play 0, 1 on ukulele than to play C and F. Okay, there's only one C, so you would know where that one is. But there's this F, and there's also an F right here. Where is he? There he's right there. Okay, there's that F is right there, and then there's probably another F down here somewhere. So there's lots of there's more than one F, and so you don't know from standard notation which one you're supposed to play. Tablature tells you exactly which F to play. Okay. Are you plucking with each string at the same time? Yeah, Cindy. So when I'm doing that plucking, I'm actually doing thumb on top. Let's see if I can get you some light here. Thumb on top, index here, middle here, and ring here. Okay, and I'm actually holding it like that. Okay, so it's all four. That's when I pluck all four. That's how I do it. Now you're not required to pluck all four. You could pluck just three, and then you're looking at thumb, index, and middle, right? Bum, bum, bum. Maybe you're just the middle two. Bum, 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 bum. Or the top two. Bum, 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 bum. Or the bottom two, you might use these two fingers. Bum, 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 bum. There's not a rule. And in fact, in the arpeggio book, I'm going to make you do all of that stuff. But generally speaking, if I'm just going to be, instead of strumming, I'm going to just be plucking and singing. I'm grabbing all four strings. Okay. All right. Let's play the tablature. From the pickup to 42, 1, 2, 3. 01, 004, 011, 0032. 00022, 201, 03, 031. 004, 011, 0032. 00020, 103, 031, 004, 011, 0032. Bing bong. 00020, 103, 004, 011, 0032. Bing bong. 00020, 103, 031, 0333333. 31000 10222 01111 01120 330333 33331001000. Hold it and go. 0001133 0021020. Big C chord here. Okay. And if you hate that C chord, it's a B flat on the third. Just play it with that C chord. Okay. Sounds almost the same. Okay. Not quite. A little bit different. All right. Ready to do it? Okay. Either tablature or chords. Pick your poison. In class, those of you who are teachers, You have half the class, man, usually about three-fourths of the class play the tablature and about a quarter play the chords. And it sounds amazing. And if you are, especially if you're an elementary school teacher and you got to do that concert at the end of the season, you either have the Christmas concert or the spring concert, and your life sucks because of that, this is the solution right here. Have half the kids play the melody line, have half the kids play chords, put a little dance in there, and you are set. Okay, and it's fun and it's easy. It's pretty easy, and everybody has a great time. And all the parents get their video, and it's super cute. And then they come, and then they bring their children over here, and they say, "Gary, she plays ukulele. We want you to give her lessons." And then that lasts until she finds out that soccer is way more fun. All right, from the top, pick chords or pick melody. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, oh. Let me start again. Let me start again. Jeez, oh why? Let me get the melody in my head first. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener. Bing bong. That is what I truly want to be. Bum bum. 'Cause if I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener, bing bong, everyone would be in love with me. Bum bum. Oh, I wish to be an Oscar Mayer Wiener. Bing bong. That is what I'd never want to be. Bong bong. 'Cause if I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener, bing bong, there would soon be nothing left of me. 3, 1. My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer. Oh, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOG&A. Okay, so we are at that place where you start to think about, okay, what am I going to be more successful with when I get to concert tomorrow? Okay, if you're brand new and you're like, I want to be successful playing this song, maybe grab the chords and be singing along there at home. Maybe if you're working on next level, which is what I want you to be working on, you're playing tablature, you're not singing, you're just listening to Gary play it and trying to more or less match him. You're ignoring Gary's mistakes while you are busy making your own. Okay, and then and that's what you're going to be working on. Now, there of course is the next level, which is playing the tough uke. Okay, and that's what I try to always play when we get together. Sometimes I fail at it miserably, but whatever. You're going to make a few mistakes. I'm going to make a few mistakes. We're all going to agree we're good people. Okay, so when we get to the tough uke section, that's that last line down there. And honestly, guys, most of this is stuff if you've been around the last few months, this is just more of the same. And what's cool about it is it's always going to be more of the same at this point. Okay, some songs are harder and than others. Earlier part, the Mozart section and the Einklein part, pretty tough. Okay, but this is not tough going. All right, from measure 40, let's actually play measure 40 so that you get the turnaround. I added in a C chord, a C7 chord, an F chord, and then we would start with the melody. Okay, so from the top. By the way, in order to sound like it's Mozart, if you're strumming, it's not going to sound like Mozart. You got to play with your claw, thumb underneath, thumb on top of the A string, index finger underneath the C string, middle finger underneath the E string, and ring finger underneath the A string. Okay, that's how we get them all. Okay, and when we're playing the melody, you're going to be using those strings. Whatever string happens to come up, that's the finger that's got to fire. Okay, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum, bum. O-I-F, O, 4, O, F, 1, O, O, strum, O, O, 2, strum, 1, O, 3, F chord, 3, F, O, F, O, 4, O, F, 1, O, O, G, 2, O, 2, O, 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 2, O, 1, O, 3, F, 3, F, O1, F, O4, O, F1, O, O, G, 2, O2, O, O, O2, O1, O3, F3, F, O, F, O4, O, F1, O, O, G, 2, O2, O, 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 2, O, 1, O, 3, F, 3, 1, 3, 1, O, 3, 3, 3, strum 3, 3, F, O, 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 F, 1, O, O, 2, 2, O, 2, do, 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 O, 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 2, O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, F, O, 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 F, O, 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 F, O, 1, 1, 3, 3, O, O, 2, 1, O, 2, O, O, O. Grab your C, bar chord. That's it. That felt too fast, didn't it? That was pretty fast. Let's go back and do it one more time. How much time we got? Oh, we're in good shape. Okay. From the top, measure 41. Right? Boom. A little slower. That felt too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum, bum. O, 1, F, O, 4, O, F, 1, O, O, G, 2, O, 2, O, 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 2, O, 1, O, 3, F, 3, F, O, F, O, 4, O, F, 1, O, O, G, 2, O, 2, O, 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 2, O, 1, O, 3, F, 3, F, O1, F, O4, O, F1, O, O, G, 2, bing, bong, O, O, O2, O1, O3, F, 3, F, O, F, O4, O, F1, O, O, G, 2, O2, O, O, O2, O1, O3, F, 3, 1, 3, 1, O, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, F, O, 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 F, 1, O, 2, 2, 2, O, 2, 1, 1, 1, O, 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 2, O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, F, O, 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 F, O, 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 F, O, 1, 1, 3, 3, O, O, 2, 1, O, 2, O, O, O. Let your ukulele out. Okay. So the idea there is to make it sound Mozarty without it actually being quite as hard to play as Mozart, and without and to have maybe a little bit of fun. Okay, let's run through measures 14 through 40 real quick to make sure that we've at least had one last chance to look at that, and then we're going to talk about getting ready for the concert tomorrow. Okay, so from measure 14, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, where I lost my spot. Here's the toughie. That section is really tough. So you may want to, so I'm going to look at that section. That's the part that I'm going to study tonight is that little section there. Just a few fingering changes in there as well. So it's there's like what did he do here? And I'm reading this as the same thing going, I wrote this. I'm like, oh, what did I do there? Okay. So probably take a little bit of time to study that up. Now, tomorrow we have a concert. Okay. And tomorrow, let me tell you what's in the concert. Tomorrow, you're going to show up. You're going to be locked and loaded. You're going to have in your bag, you're going to walk in, you're going to dress extra nice tomorrow because you got to look pretty for the concert. Okay. You want to come in with your ukulele tuned up, maybe run a rag over it. It's all you've been eating and there's full of macaroni and weird stuff on there that you don't know what it is. You clean your ukulele, get it tuned up, make it look really beautiful, make you look really beautiful, brush your teeth before you get in here, come in, sit down, get here early, get settled in. You're going to be like, I'm going to be awesome today. Today is my day to be amazing. And we're going to play Frere Jacques, and you're going to play either the melody or the chords. We'll probably do it both ways just to make sure that we're good on that. Then we're going to play Soft Kitty together, and you're going to pick whichever method makes the most sense for you. Then we are going to strum a few songs out of that Key of A arpeggio book. This not the arpeggio book, the Key of A kids book. I call it the kids book. It's actually better for adults. We're going to do a ukulele C scale like we studied today, and then we're going to play this song exactly like it's written top to bottom at least one time, maybe 20 times. I don't know. Let's see how much time we have. But we want to just bring as much of the Mozartness as we can possibly together to do that. And so you be ready, right? Be ready to be awesome tomorrow. And then I decided today, Cheryl called me up for a private lesson, and so we hung out together today, and she was playing a Blue Hawaii, and I said, that's it. That's the decision. We're playing Elvis next week. So next week will be Elvis week. By the way, the complexity of the music will go from here to here. Okay. And the awesomeness of the music will go from from here to here. And I hope, I don't know, it's going to be good. But we're going to do at least 4 Elvis tunes, maybe 5. I haven't decided if I have time to type in another one. But we'll do some Elvis next week. And if you know people who, if you have friends and you're saying, hey, I should get them started playing ukulele, tomorrow would be a great day for them to come in and take a look at that. Also, make sure that Monday nights you've got clear from 7 p.m. I got to get it right. 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We have Ukulele Summer Institute for Janice, who lives in Australia. It's Winter Institute. And so please take a look at that stuff. We got a lot of things going on. I just want to keep everybody busy. I know they're starting to let us out of our houses, and that seems like a really bad idea at this moment, but that's what's going to happen. No reason why you can't become a great ukulele player anyway at the same time. And if you can't make the live broadcast, definitely check out the archives for the recordings. And Mozart for tonight. That's your homework. And then tomorrow I'll see you at 1 o'clock and we'll knock it out of the park. Have a wonderful day, you guys. That's it. Go home. Go home. Go home. I'm going to see if anybody says goodbye. Am I disconnected from chat? Oh, there I am. Okay. You bet, Gail. Have a great night. Phyllis, really learned a lot today. Thanks, Gary. Enjoy your evening. See you all tomorrow. Yes. Well, thanks, Phyllis. I really appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Renee, wonderful. Yeah, we're going to be wonderful tomorrow, by the way. Enjoy today. Have a great night, Sandy. Thanks for being here. Chris, be good. See you soon. Manette, thank you. Christine, I always say Christine, so we're sold out. We are sold out. We're never sold out on YouTube. That's what's exciting. Elizabeth, see you in a little bit. Brandon, have a great night. Pauline, we'll see you tomorrow. Karen, see you tomorrow. Bruce. Yeah, hopefully that new uke is sounding good, right? Hopefully. It should be just about ready to kill it. Lynn, have a great night. And Kat, I will yeah, nice. It's always fun to have you around, Kat. Good to see you. Leslie, you're first in. You're going to be last out. I'm going to disconnect the stream. You guys have a great day.